Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. And today I wanted to talk about a certain pattern that I've noticed in my life throughout the years, which is changing careers quite often, jumping from one thing to another. And I wanted to talk about how I feel about this, what I've concluded over the years, and maybe if you feel stuck in your career or you're worried about making a change or wondered if you're wasting time exploring different fields, this video might be for you. Maybe it's relatable. Maybe it helps you to make a change in your life that you wanted to do for a long time, or maybe it makes you feel better about your career decisions up until now. I don't know. I hope this helps someone. Anyways, about how I feel qualified to talk about this topic. For an example, I started out as a nail tech right after high school. I worked with clients for quite some time. I actually enjoyed the work very much. Then I studied medicine for a while. Then I dropped out. Then I worked at various stores as a shop assistant behind the counter. Then I became a croupier at a large online casino, worked in front of the camera. Now I'm working as a programmer, full stack developer. I do some support, things like that. And also at the same time, I'm learning YouTube and starting my YouTube career. I hope this works out. Please subscribe. Thank you. Anyways, all of these are quite big jumps in different fields. So every time you can't escape the feeling that you're starting completely from scratch. As if everything you've done before is like no longer important and now it's this new thing. And maybe sometimes that can feel kind of depressing in a way, like you've wasted your time maybe. Also, by the way, in the background, I'm doodling this painting, and we can watch that happen because this is a creative channel and we do creative things here. And long story short, today's video is about the old story of how you're supposed to know what you want to do with your life as you grow up and finish high school, but you don't really know what it is. So you kind of feel like you failed. And then you wake up when you're 30 years old, you've worked 50 different jobs, and you still don't know what is your life's calling, and then you start to feel kind of bad about it. But here we're going to talk about how maybe that's not such a bad thing. And just because you keep starting something new and learning more new skills doesn't mean that the previous time you did it, it cancels out. It doesn't. You accumulate a lot of experiences, a lot of skills, and those just might come in handy in other ways in the future that you don't know about yet. And I've seen this happen multiple times in my life where I want to start a new hobby or start doing something new, and something that I've done years ago now comes in handy because I already approximately know how it works, or I've just developed this skill of learning a lot faster, so I can get the general gist of it very fast. You know, like for example, I used to do some stream overlays for a Twitch streamer, and now I want to do some YouTube videos, make thumbnails. So it's kind of similar in a way. It's definitely easier to get into it. I used to dabble a little bit in Blender, try to make some 3D models. And now I'm very much into 3D printing. Yes, that's another thing on the list. And so basically, yeah, the software, the slicers you use for 3D printing and Blender kind of overlap, a lot of similarities. You can also make models to print in Blender. So it's all connected in the end, somehow, in a weird way. And I usually like to compare life to a video game. I don't know, because I like video games, I guess. And you could compare this to putting skill points for your character. And you just put those skill points randomly. You're like, oh, I have a level up. I'm going to choose this one. And you keep adding them. And of course, if somebody already knows what they're going for, like what build, and they have this meta build that they're building and they have a plan, maybe the build is very strong in some certain situations, but it doesn't mean that your build is not viable. You still have the skills, you have all the skill points, and you might find that in the end, you have a very unique, awesome build that is very good at something. You just don't know what it is yet, but you're going to get there eventually. And plus, there are updates, the meta changes. So, I remember when I was a teenager, I was at this party and there was this guy and he asked me what I was going to do, like career wise. And I didn't know really what to answer because I didn't know myself at the time. So I just said, I'm going to be a hairdresser, a chef, a business owner. I'm going to be everything, to sound kind of whimsical because that was the vibe I was going for at the time. And of course, I did get a bunch of eye rolls after that. And well, let's be honest, that was kind of cringy. But I actually did believe it myself at the time. I've always had this feeling that I could achieve great things. I was just not doing them at 100%. That's why I'm not achieving them. There's probably some denial and fear of fail under all of this. But still, I had like a positive outlook that like anything's possible. I'm just not bothered to do some specific things. Like I couldn't decide what I wanted to go for, so I like tried a little bit of everything and didn't go for one single thing. And I mean, believing in yourself is super important. Like I think it's half of achieving something great is really believing that you can do it. Go for the delulu all the way. I'm all for it. But it's actually important to also do the work. And if you want crazy results, you need to put in crazy amounts of work. And that's the part I've been kind of struggling with. And it's not that I'm scared of work or that I'm super lazy. It's an issue with focus. Like it's hard to focus down on one thing. And to be able to do that, you have to put in a lot of work in creating systems, priorities, understanding what's really important to you, and try to make your everyday life work around that. So I think a lot of people relate to this, and I'm still in the process. I'm trying to figure out how to be more productive and achieve some of the goals I have in my own creative way. But that in itself could be a separate video. Today we're more focusing on starting something new. So first of all, you probably want to understand why do you want to change something. And there could be many reasons, and all of them could be valid. Times change, maybe when you started working at your job, you were fine with the pay, you felt that it was a nice fit. And now years have passed and you have changed. The environment has changed, like the economy has changed. A lot of things have changed, and maybe it is no longer a good fit for you. And that's totally fine. And it's same as being in a relationship. Maybe after long years, it's no longer a good fit for you, and it's time to move on. You constantly want to evolve as a person, and if you see that the environment you are in is hindering that, then you shouldn't feel guilty if you want to change something in your life. And one thing I've noticed in my life many times, and this is both in a relationship or in a workplace, if you ignore the feeling that you no longer want to be there and you stay there because, you're scared of change. What if you can't find a better job? What if you don't get paid as much in the new place, or some other reasons? If you force yourself to stay there, against this inner feeling, you will start feeling some physical issues. at least for me, that definitely is the case. I would start to have like back pain or anxiety attacks and stuff like that. So your body is also kind of signaling that, okay, maybe we should change something, or at least take a vacation, please. So, the next feeling you might be facing when you're changing your career is being scared of the unknown and thinking, well, you know, I'm not an IT person. For example, I'm talking from my experience. I was so scared to go to the first IT job interview. I had no idea what it's like to work in IT, to be a programmer. It's scary when you have no idea what to expect. And on top of that, I always had this feeling, I'm not the logical type of a person. I'm more creative. I'm more whimsical. I'm not that good at math. Like, and this is the thing. You are what you think you are, kind of. So you can switch it at any point. It's not like overnight. Of course, it takes time, and you have to actually believe it, and you have to start to do things that a person like that would do. I started Googling every single thing. I started learning programming. I started to read up on stuff, articles, everything, and slowly you become this person. And now I absolutely feel like I am that type of a person. I assign to myself a lot of qualities that a programmer has, and now I feel like this is where I have to be. And it's fascinating how our self-perception can completely transform us. You really are what you think you are, and you can change that at any point of your life. Let's move on to the next fear that is related to changing careers, and that is what other people will think. What will my friends think? What will my parents think? What will my colleagues think? Etc., etc. I think at this point you can already guess what I'm going to say, which is do not limit yourself because somebody expects something from you or won't like it or whatever reasons. Oftentimes, it's not even what those people actually want from you. It's maybe what you think they want. So it's not even a real thing. So you just made it up. But regardless, you should do what feels right for you. And I've dropped this way of thinking already a long time ago because I've changed my career so many times. I think people are used to it by now. People think in 3 years I'll be doing something completely different, training for NASA or something. I don't know. But it just doesn't bother me. Of course, I am still human. I do have this feeling of insecurity. I do sometimes worry what other people might think about me, but I put an effort not to, like consciously, because it happens at an instinct level. Like we automatically do this sometimes. So it's important to catch yourself and be like, it doesn't matter. First of all, you can't read people's minds, so you don't know what they actually think. And there's no use in wasting your energy and worrying about these things. You just get tired and anxious, and there's no point to it. Like, I struggled it. Like, years ago, when I was working in the beauty industry, I felt lesser than. I felt like I'm not good enough. For some reason, I had some friends who were in IT already at the time, and I remember thinking, yeah, they probably don't take me seriously. And that's like a feeling that I've been working on, and now I'm kind of angry at myself in the past that I let myself feel like I wasn't good enough, because that wasn't the case. Probably one of the many reasons that I decided to go for an IT job alongside of being able to work remotely, have a better wage, have a more stable job. Another thing probably was that I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. Like, I'm good enough. I could do it too. And I did. I proved it. And I can move on to the next thing if I want to. Currently, I don't want to. I want to do this and YouTube. But who knows? After some years, things might change and I might move on to the next thing. And that's fine as well. Basically, to sum it up, don't overthink what other people might think about this change that you want to make in your life. And that includes yourself, because you judge yourself and you're a very harsh critic, and oftentimes with a very weird, twisted perspective on yourself. So maybe don't be so harsh on yourself, and don't imagine things and obstacles that aren't there to begin with. Next fear, we're talking about the fear of not having a full plan of action and not having it figured out 100%. Basically, learning to trust the process, which is not that easy for some people. Like maybe the thought of not knowing exactly what's going to happen step by step causes anxiety for you. And well, in this case, all I can suggest is, to trust the process and know that you know yourself in every step of the way. You will probably try to think of the best possible solution, the next most sense-making thing that you could do. And that's probably what you're going to do, right? So it's not like just because you don't have a plan, you have no control over it. You will have control. It's just like a fog of war. Again, talking in video game terms. It's something that you will slowly, it's a plan that will reveal itself slowly, step by step. It doesn't mean there isn't a plan. It's just, it's in progress, Let her cook. In terms of advice, sometimes it really is as simple as taking the first step. People talk about terms like manifestation or fake it till you make it. But of course, thoughts alone won't get you there. You need to think about it. You need to have it in your plans. And slowly, you will make decisions that make sense in that context, So you will surround yourself with people. You will, pick up some courses, maybe go to some event, find connections, and slowly you will become part of this new environment. You will get used to it, and it won't seem that scary anymore. And like sooner or later, you will end up maybe in a new job, and ta-da! That's your new reality, and that's a thing now. The problem is when you don't make those first steps, you don't allow yourself to even think that you could be in that new reality. So that's what's blocking you, usually, I think. Ah, yes, the jack of all trades. My favorite expression.
How did you almost know my name?
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
I even don't know how I feel about it anymore. Like, some people see it as a good thing, some people see it as a bad thing. I think there is real value in knowing a bit about many things. Like, the world needs specialists who are very deep into one specific field, and of course we need those as well. But having a broad knowledge of many different things also gives you a unique perspective, and there's definitely places where you can apply this knowledge. You can see connections other people miss. Maybe you adapt faster. You have different options if your career for some reason. If your career path disappears or changes, you have backup options. You know a lot of things. You can figure it out. So maybe having a lot of skills and past experiences kind of gives me this this calming feeling that whatever happens, I can just start something new. I'm not maybe that scared anymore, because I know I can just pick up something different, and that'll be a whole new adventure, and that'll be something interesting to learn, and that'll be cool too. So let's wrap up today's video and make a short conclusion here. And here's a few points for you. First, your past experiences are never wasted. They're building blocks for what's to come in the future. Second, Fear is normal, but it shouldn't stop you from doing things. 3, you don't need the whole roadmap, you just need to take the first step. 4, how you see yourself matters more than how others see you. And number 5, being a jack of all trades is actually a superpower. Maybe. So, guys, if you watched until this point, thank you very much. It means a lot to me that you're interested in what I have to share and that you're also supporting my channel, because this is, again, a new part of my journey, something new that I'm trying to do. And so far, having a lot of fun doing it. And I'd love to hear about your career journeys in the comments. Have you made any big changes recently in your life? Or maybe you're thinking about doing it, but you're not sure yet. So maybe you can share that in the comments. And if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Maybe I'll make more videos similar to this one. I'm not sure yet. I'm doing all sorts of creative videos, like with my hobbies, but I also like to talk about things that I've been going through over the years, stuff that I've figured out or stuff that I'm still figuring out how to do. And I'd love to share, and maybe it actually helps someone. That would mean the world to me if somebody's benefiting from this or feels motivated or has something to listen to in the background while they're working. So yeah, let me know in the comments. But yeah, other than that, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.